Hello, YouTube fans. This is TheSkullKlown here to review Superman Returns. Um, Let me give you a little bit history of this. To be honest, well, not the movie, but it is a sequel to the other movies that of the old Superman movies, the Christopher Reeve. Hope I'm saying his name right. Superman. I grew up watching that Superman as a kid. The first Superman movie I watched from that series was Superman 2. Then I think I saw 1, and I don't think I saw 3 and 4. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's basically a sequel to this movie. And knowing that this movie is a sequel to those movies is actually pretty dope. I like that, to be honest. And the actors really do well in this movie. Um and the actor that plays Lex Luthor right now, there's things about him that's like, oh my god. But he does really good in this movie. But it just shows that it just shows what type of people that work in Hollywood and how you get roles in movies and everything like that. And this movie's kind of enlightenment too, in a way, in some parts. But overall, this movie is really good. The story is basically about Superman has been seen for years. Then this plane, a plane connected to a space plane together, and then when they fly off, they like launch this on a spaceship and everything like that. When I saw that, I'm like, how come no one hasn't thought about this? Yo, NASA, what? Maybe it would be too dangerous or something like that. I don't know. Well, if something like that happened with the power outage, then there you go. That's what happened because you see the beginning in the movie when Lex Luthor is he's with a woman, an old woman, and everyone is like, "No, don't trust him. He's evil. Don't give him the will." He signs the will, and she's like, "I love you, Lex." I'm sorry. Uh, I didn't laugh when I saw it, but more thinking about it, I could just imagine when she's like grabbed his ear at the end. Just imagine that happening. It's like, Lex. And then he just makes sure that she finishes on the dotted line while she's dead. And then Lex moves in. I mean, opens the door, and he's like, "This whole thing is mine." And he takes off the wig, gives it to a little girl, and the little girl's like, "Ah!" I remember when I saw that, I'm like, "It's not a spider. It's not alive. What are you screaming at?" Even if it was, pet it. It's a dog now. um, but do I like to mention that Lois Lane is sexy in this movie? To be quite honest, there are moments I'm just like, "What are you doing?" That's the thing about Lois Lane. Lois Lane always jumps herself and tries to call, even though she tries to do the good thing, tries to help Superman, tries to help other people. I know, but Lois Lane, when there was time for you not to jump, don't jump, okay? For crying out loud. And eventually Clark Kent comes back. Everyone's just like, "Hey, Clark, what are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while, what you been doing all these years?" Then he gets his job back, obviously, because, a guy croaked. That's like something out of Mighty Python. I'm sorry. It's like, how could I have my old job back? Hey, good news. The guy that was just here, the guy that used to be here just died. What? That would have been hilarious. We need a Mighty Python movie with Superman. I'm sorry. I think that would be fucking hilarious, and then put Batman in there. There is a reference to Gotham in this movie because Superman saves all around the world, obviously, in this movie. And when he said that the event, he went to Gotham, I'm all like, what? Did Bruce needed help? Did Bruce needed help that day? Or I was also thinking that why would they need Superman in Gotham? They have Batman, huh? I bet Batman was on an off day, or who needed him that day. I wish we got a cameo, or just like have it like, you don't need the cape and cowl. Just have Bruce Wayne just walk up to Clark Kent and be like, "Yo, what's up?" And then that's it. That's just me. But that would have been cool. This movie did came around a time Christopher Nolan series was coming out with Batman, which I would have loved to see this Batman and Christopher Nolan. I mean, this Superman and Christopher Nolan's Batman have a versus movie. The thing is, a long time ago, I don't know if this was 100% true, but there was rumors that fight. I mean, well, the movie was going to happen, but it never got green light, which is funny because James Ralph talked shit about it, saying that two of our biggest icons ever fighting. Who would want to watch that? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, we got what we got. Yes, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice is bad, but the fight scenes are freaking good. But the better version of that movie is The Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns is literally a Batman versus Superman movie done right, And the thing is, you don't have to read the freaking comic book, to get that experience. Obviously, because there's an animated movie about it. But moving on, I do like how Lex Luthor plans everything in this movie because he is Lex Luthor, muscle versus brain, and he's really cool. And he talks about the Prometheus story, And when I heard that, and when I hear the Prometheus story every time, I'm just like, yeah, it's also in the movie Prometheus too, that 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 right there is just, I can go so much deep to enlightenment right there. It's just so, you know. Um and also the crystal, which I can go deep into that too, because crystals are symbolism also. But moving on, it is cool that we get to see Superman's ice cavern again, basically. I was so happy to see that again. And then we get a reference to Superman's dog in the movie too. He's wearing the freaking collar and everything like that. I'm like, awesome. And it's so funny too because Clark throws the ball and I'm just I'm suspecting a dog do it, but the dog's like I'm just dying. I'm like, for real. It's like, you think I have powers, bitch? Uh, there's moments in this movie that make me really laugh. Oh god, especially when Lois Lane hangs out with Superman, and then she comes down and sees her husband, and it looks like she just had sex. And I made a meme about it. In my TheSkullKlown Facebook page. It's immature, yes, but fuck it, I had to. I just had to. It was the right moment, the right time. I had to. But yeah, overall the acting is not bad in this movie. To be honest, a lot of people don't talk about this movie. When I was a kid, I saw the trailer to this movie, and I was like, "Cool, another Superman movie, awesome." And I didn't hear nothing about it. I didn't hear. I didn't even hear reviews about it. It came and left, and this is my first time ever watching this movie, to be quite honest. And I'm actually glad I watched it now than I did as a kid because to me, in my perspective, when you're a kid watching those old Superman movies, then you're an adult, you actually felt like, hey, this was appropriate, if I watched this as a teenager, I probably would have been like, yeah, it felt appropriate too. But I feel like it felt more appropriate as an adult to watch the Superman that I grew up with, basically, coming back and then have a kid. It is hinted to that Superman had a kid with Lois Lane. The kid, Lois's kid, eventually she's about to die, and Lois's kid pushes the fucking piano and kills a fucking thug. And I'm just like, holy shit! And I already kind of knew it in a way, because they always looked at it because the kid always looked at Superman like, I know something, and Superman doesn't figure that out. Clark Kent doesn't figure that out until at the end of the movie. Because when he sees the kid, he smiles. He's like, wow, like you can see the moment when his face changes, and he's like, holy shit, why didn't think of this before? I seen this kid around me all the time, and I didn't put two and two together. My God, he's gonna grow up to be a fine Superman. And I'm like, for real, he's already camouflaging against you, and you don't even know about it. you know. But it's pretty cool. There was a hint in that movie when they're locked in the room and steel doors and everything like that, and you think that the little kid's going to push the door and everything like that. Then the dad opens it. It's pretty. It's at first you'd be like, oh my god, it's going to happen, but then the dad opens the door and it's like, oh my god, dad. Those moments like that I actually like, because it's like, yes, that kid is Superman's son, and he's going to be the next Superman. But at the same time, the movie doesn't want to flat out tell you. It's just hinting at it. But as a fan, it is Superman's fucking son. I mean, even again, they even beat it over the head. Not beat over the head, but they smack you with it at the end at least. They'd be like, "Is it his son? Is it? Bitch, it is." It's like, I just guessed. Why you had to slap me? It's like that. But I could talk about more about Lex Luthor because he is the highlight of this film. Holy crap. The actor, like I said, you could talk about what he's doing right now, which is just we found out what he's done, but he does this. Aside from that, he does great in this movie. He is Lex Luthor from. He reminds me of the old Lex Luthor from what I grew up with the original Superman, and the Superman that the guy that plays Superman in this movie, which is funny because he was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Love that movie. And he also failed. And he also, in a way, died in that movie from kryptonite because of green. And in the commentary, if you hear the commentary for Scott Pilgrim versus the World, they actually said that, "Damn man, you're just gonna keep dying with green all throughout your career, aren't you?" You know, and I'm just like, damn, because that was after Superman Returns, Scott Pilgrim. Then he did Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Most likely it was, yeah, obviously, but it's funny too because Brie Larson is in this movie. So Scott Pilgrim has beaten Superman and has dated Captain Marvel. Scott Pilgrim is a fucking badass, okay? And I'm not saying, hey, Captain Marvel broke up with Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim didn't break up with Captain Marvel. Okay? Captain Marvel broke up with Scott Pilgrim to be with Superman. That makes sense too. But but hey, Scott Pilgrim destroyed Superman, so did Captain Marvel choose well? I love doing that with movies and stuff. I bet people love doing that too. But I enjoy this movie. Superman does return. It's epic the way Lex Luthor brings Superman down at in a way you kind of feel for Superman a bit too, and it's like yes, in a way you'd be like he's really being weak because of a rock, yes, but in a way you still believe it. You still believe that this guy could actually die from something that is from space, and yes, it might be a rock, but it's the most deadliest thing to him, you know. And Lex Luthor basically has like a piece of it that looks like a knife or a dagger, and he sticks it in the back of him. And I thought it broke off when Lois grabbed it, but no, it was still this long. I'm like, Jesus, I thought that broke inside of him. But Superman was like, ah, when that thing was peeling off of him. But overall, some of the scenes in this movie is great. I highly recommend watching this movie. I think Superman Returns is good. I give it a 7. I give it a 7.8 out of 10. To me, I think it's really that good. And I was going to give it an 8, but I feel like 7.8 out of 10 is more better. Yeah, I still enjoyed it for what it was. Is there any flaws with it? There probably most likely is flaws, but I can't really think of it right now. Maybe if I had to watch it multiple viewings, then I'd be like that, you know. But since I just watched it, I just flat out just talking about my thoughts about it, and I think the movie is pretty good, pretty well structured. I do like that everyone, when they see Superman, they're like, he's back, you know? And then Lois is like, I moved on. You know, you didn't tell me that, you know, you left and shit, you know? And in a way, Clark is trying to convey what Superman's trying to be, and Lois is like, what? You know? Yeah, in this movie, still, Lois doesn't find out that Clark is Superman, but it's like a little bit hinted that maybe she could know. But at the same time, it's like she's trying to figure out, but at the same time, she really doesn't care because she's trying to figure out Superman shit, even though Superman's always right behind her ass, literally. But the actress that plays Lois Lane is fine as hell, in my opinion. She's great. And she's pretty much a badass here, too. You know, that's why I pointed out some of the stuff that I'm just like, what are you doing? Stop jumping so Superman can save you sometimes. My God. And it's not like one of those danger and distress things. It's one of those moments that she puts herself in that position that Superman has to save her. And I remember when she was on the airplane, I was just thinking of the scene from the animated series that's like, all right, nobody move. What? Are you Lois Lane? The Lois Lane that saves, that Superman always saves? I'm afraid so. And it's like, ah! I wish they had that scene in the movie. They lost the opportunity. But they can always do it in a future Superman movie. So there you go. But overall, thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you guys think about Superman Returns. I think it's good. Warner Brothers should take notes from this movie, to be quite honest. I'm surprised they didn't take notes when they were making Batman vs. Superman, but whatever, right? But overall, I still enjoy this movie. I love that Clark Kent's mom is in this movie. I love that they also mentioned the dad. I love all of that shit. Everything that you want in a Superman movie is in this movie. So that's why I'm trying to think of what could I complain about. Probably nitpick, but really think of flaws. I can't really think of it because this is a perfect Superman movie, and it fits right next to the old movies that came out before. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think about Superman Returns. Do you love it? Do you hate it? And tell me why you love it and hate it. And tell me what will you change in the movie. And tell me what will you do with anything if there was a sequel to this movie. Will you want Superman, his son, join side by side? Maybe, that he grows up to be a teenager or something like that. Or maybe he goes up to find out that, these powers are not that cocked up to be or something like that. Then he learns from Superman. Superman is like, no, these powers are actually good. The only thing you can't freaking go through is freaking a green rock. It's like, yeah, I know that. I've seen that happen to you plenty of times, Dad. So thank you guys for watching, and see ya.